Hey everyone! Welcome back. I am back today with more Dr. Stone, you guys. Last episode was so good. We're on our way to making some herbs, some medicine, some antibiotics. It's going to be great, you guys. I'm so excited for it, and I'm really excited to talk about what happened last episode because we had a lot. So before I get started on all that, I do just want to say if you're joining me early today, you know just what that means. It means you are one of my awesome patrons. Thank you so very much. And as always, I'm sending up those big old hugs right through that screen. And if not, still thank you for joining me today. I am glad you're here. I do hope you'll consider supporting me that way. The link to my Patreon is going to be in that description down below. And don't forget, if you are joining me on those YouTubes, I would really love it if you hit like and subscribe for me. It helps me on my channel a whole lot. So thank you in advance for that. All right. We had a lot going on last time. We met a whole village of people who apparently have been here for a while. There were some. Now, here's a question that Senku asked, and I forgot to address at the end of my last reaction. How did people get unpetrified? You know, I mean, technically speaking, we only needed a few people to do that. You know, we only needed to get like, you know, I mean, theoretically, not that many people to get a whole village started. You know what I mean? But it is kind of interesting that like, even like two, even let's just say a man and a woman, like would just on their own, you know? So I think what Senku was thinking was, somebody must have figured that out. Somebody, like, maybe it was like a science person who like woke up and figured it out. But if that's the case, then how come science kind of wasn't passed down in their community? And I think maybe like last time when I was like trying to think of like, I was trying to think of what I wanted to say at the end of my outro. Maybe what I was getting at was, how do they not know about everything if somebody who was from the previous world was unpetrified? And like, wouldn't that have been passed down? Unless it's just over like I don't know. I thought they said like 100-something years. But I feel like even in 100 years, like you would have history. Like you could pass that down even like through oral tradition of like telling stories and stuff like that. So it must have been longer, because I feel like that's something that really got lost to time. You know, like they haven't been going on for a super long time. And honestly, I don't know. How would you go on for a super long time though without medicine? You know, I mean, they've definitely done fine for themselves. Like they know to a great degree I mean, how did people do that in the olden times? A lot of people died. Maybe it would have been a village of like 1,000 people and now it's only 40. I don't know. I have a lot of speculation. I feel like it's not going to be like that deep. I just like, my mind gets racing when I watch this. I love it so much. But for now, we have a new kind of assistant. I think it's funny. Chrome thought that Senku was going to want to be his assistant. I think it's going to be the other way around. But we have an ally, you guys. We've made some allies. We even won over Kinro, who was like, my golden spear is okay, I guess. Not going to throw it away. Let's put it that way. I'm like, we won over Kinro. Yay. So yeah. Good to have allies, you know. I think that Senku, for all his like, I feel like Senku could be such an off-putting character if he wanted to be. And it's not that he isn't a little bit arrogant and a little bit like, but there's something about him that like, for a guy who clearly is kind of a science snob, he's not an off-putting or snobbish or uninviting person. You know what I mean? Like, I think it would be so easy to be like, oh, he's a science guy, he's a geek, and so he's going to be like, he's not going to get along with people. And when in reality, I think it's really Tsukasa who's suffering from like not being able to get along with people, which is sad because he said he never really had friends. And I wonder if maybe like a lot of that for Senku is that he did have friends who encouraged that more of him, you know? So, but I think that's cool that like we're getting together, our nation of science. We're gonna make some antibiotics, you guys. We're gonna make some penicillin. Are we gonna be using any mold? Because I have heard that there is, I don't know if this is true. It's a bad idea to start spouting off things that I think I know about science on the show that is clearly going to put me in my place. But why do I feel like penicillin has something to do with mold? Like the mold you find on bread. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'm going to be so vindicated if they use moldy bread for this. I'm going to be like, ha ha ha, I'm a science lioness. All right, guys, we need to get into the episode. Next episode, Dr. Stone, let's do this. Okay, who is they? This is the second time they mentioned the criminal. Who is the criminal? Uh-oh. Disowned her? Is that her? Oh. She's trying to help her sister and you disowned her? Oh. I like how he's always Mecha Senku in his fantasies, you know? Well, can he be both? Can he be both? No, that would be hard to do. Okay, we need a lot of stuff. Okay, all right. Okay, what are the two roots? Oh. If he says mold, I'm going to be so happy. Ha ha! Yeah! Super genius over okay. Yeah. It would be hard to control it. We're just people stumbling around till we find what's out there in the world. Ooh. Okay. Wow, we need a lot of stuff. Some of that. Did we already have? Because he said he threw copper. I feel like maybe we have copper already. Sorcery science. Okay, I think Senku's a little worn out on trying to teach. That'll be helpful. Oh my god. That's crazy. Oh, so we can't, that's gonna suck. We can't go by. Oh, that is kind of a good point. They're not looking for it to be in a certain place, so they just see what they see. Aw. You need both. You need someone who has the historical knowledge and them. That's how are we telling True North? Is it like a compass? Did we accidentally make like a compass? Like a very, it's a magnet. Yeah, it's like a very crude compass. Nice. Oh, that's gonna, wow, Magnus is gonna help a lot. Ooh. Yeah, the road to the Kingdom of Science is opening right up. And since she's been banished or whatever, she is probably like the only one who's willing to help. I think it's good that she's a lioness. What is that? A watermelon. Wait, is this a person from, I was gonna say, is this person from the opening? Suika? Did you find some iron sand there, Suika? Oh, Suika wants to help. Is there a reason we have the thing on her head? Aww. I mean, Kingdom of Science sounds pretty nice, not gonna lie. Like, I think that's mostly because Senku is actually like a good person. Suika's been given a task. Suika is pleased. Oh, he's being polite about it. He probably just maybe doesn't care. It's like, I don't care what you wear on your head as long as you help me. Aww. Oh, that's... Isn't that like from a legend? Right? Ah. I don't know the actual legend, so they could tell me anything. We should meet this fairy. Maybe they're only passing down information through certain people in the family. I got the impression he's very into Ring. Like twice as much, more than that. We really gotta get those flames going, yeah. Oh, it would help if we had a few more people. We're really trying. Whoa, that is some furious oxygen making. Iron making is no joke. Oh, Suika. Suika's down. That's not true, Suika. That's not true. Ginro. Yeah. Well, we could really use Taiju right about now and his, like, freakish strength. Oh, we're gonna get some help. Ginro's real close. We need to know. Oh, we need to get to know people. It's so interesting. Like, you really do need, like, charisma to run a society. Oh, a wonderful thank you. You're still me, Suika. I love how sweet he is to Suika. Oh, little Sherlock Holmes, Suika. Oh, even though they'd have no way of knowing about Sherlock Holmes, or would they? It sounds like Ruri's been telling some stories. Oh, that's a little bit scary. I see that we're all these years later. And we're still kind of having a similar conversation about... I mean, they have high standards, so there's that. It's like, we change, but we don't change that much, you know? Some things stay the same. Doggy. Garnet, Sapphire, and Ruby. All named after gems. They really want a boyfriend. What is the I mean, that's so subjective. Like, what is a handsome man, you know? You don't hate Rory. Also, kind of sounds like it's just being bitter. You're about to see her gorilla out if you're not careful. Also, Rory seems pretty, like, what's your excuse for that? So maybe find a different kind of protein. I just love how sweet he is to Suika. If it gets people on... Well, food is science, first of all. Chalk! Chalk the puppy! Well, it's dog tail now, because it belongs to the doggy. What is it? What's the delicious dish? There are so many. It's a grain. Well, it does now. We haven't cooked it yet. Wheat flour is what we're trying to make. Bird eggs. Are we frying eggs? We're doing something with bread and eggs. What are we making? Are we making ramen? Are we making ramen? Oh my god, we're making ramen. Oh my god, we're making ramen. I want to cry. I want to cry because we have ramen now. It's really, really, really good. Yeah. So we... Oh, give some the chunk. Those are noodles, love. Those are called noodles. They're one of the best things in existence. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder how that's gonna... He's the only one who knows what it should taste like, so... Oh, that looks good. Well... They're like, oh my god, like it's the best thing they've ever had. Foxtail millet ramen. We are announcing ourselves. Yeah. As I will attest to the fact that I would do just about anything for food. He's like, I'll win them over with ramen. Guys, I love that. There is nothing that speaks to me more in this world than the idea that food will save us. Food will unite us. Food is everything. I've been saying that for years. I can't believe we made... So, here's what's so interesting, though, okay? What's interesting about Senku is that he recognizes... In order to be able to have enough manpower, like, first of all, he was very clear early on, like, I can't do this all by myself. And a lot of that, I guess you could argue, goes back to his past, where he had help from his friends. And so he knows that that's, like, an important part of, like, getting anything accomplished, is, like, not doing it by yourself. But first of all, he actually did recognize that, like, okay, he needs people to do what he needs to do. The other thing that's really impressive about him is he understands basic human psychology enough to understand that in order to get people to help you, you have to find a way to connect with them. You have to have something they want. You have to do something to, at the very least, like, win them over, ingratiate yourself to them, you know? And that's what I think is so cool, is that, like I was saying before, it would have been so easy to just make him clueless. You know what I mean? And he's not. Like, oh, he's book smart, common sense, stupid. And it's, oh, wow. What does it say? Let there be the light of science. Cool. All right, no one make the foxtail millet ramen at home, okay? Everyone be cool so that we don't get in trouble with the end credits here. All right, that was so freaking good. Not only am I now I'm so hungry. Not only am I completely overwhelmed, bowled over by the idea that, like, we're going to use ramen of all things. Like, Naruto would be so pleased right now. But for real, that just touches my heart so much to think that we're using ramen. But again, I have to say, it's very impressive that Senku realizes that, like, you're not going to just get people, like, you need to motivate people. Like, there's really so much more to him than just his knowledge of science. And another example of that is that he acknowledges that science is not about knowing everything. It's not about quick decisions or, like, quick thinking or, like, even, like, necessarily being smart. It's literally about throwing anything and everything up against the wall and seeing what sticks. And he's been saying that for a while, that it's a lot of trial and error. It's a lot of just, like, it's just a lot of work, you know? It's not about being clever. It's not about being quick. It's not about being... Now, he is vastly intelligent, and that really, really helps because he has the knowledge to know, like, okay, I know what to throw at the wall and what quantities to make it stick, you know? But at the end of the day, even that, in a lot of cases with the primitive tools that they're using and everything, it is a big matter of just kind of, like, trial and error and seeing what... Like, even he does trial and error, you know? Like, it's not like everything he tries at first works, you know? I just think that's a really cool way to show it, because there's two ways I feel like you could have really made this very stereotyped. One, you could have made it look like science is magic. He's a genius. He comes up with stuff. It's like, you know, it's like magic, you know? And it's not. It's a process. It's a process and a half. Especially when you're working in these conditions too, like such limited resources and everything. The other thing I feel like you really could have done as a stereotype with him is make him someone, like, not likable or who doesn't have a clue about, like, how anything outside of science works. And that's really not the case. Like, yeah, he's a little bit like, relationships, ew. But aside from that, like, he very much understands, like, friendship, caring about people, the need to motivate people, how to motivate people. Like, it's really impressive to me that he's not just like, I know science and, like, everything else is weird, you know? Like, he really does have, like, a little bit more of a well-rounded approach to everything, which I think is really interesting. On the other hand, we have, sadly, you know, like, Tsukasa, who wants to try and in his own way make the world a better place, and, like, has a lot of thoughts and ideas about people, really doesn't know people that well and can't connect with people, which is sad because he never did connect with people. So it's just kind of an interesting, I don't know, like, it'll never not impress me because, and maybe this is just a Western thing. I don't know if this is I don't know if this is as much of a stereotype in Japan, but, like, I feel like the science nerds are always, like, they always portray him as, like, oh, well, you can't get along, you know? Like, you can't get along with people. You need somebody who's actually able to get along with people. Like, and while he needs help on stuff, that's not really, ironically, what he needs help on, you know? Like, I don't know. I find that really, really interesting. I really do. So in this one, we met a new friend, Suika, who is a doll. Did we determine, I don't know where we left things on Suika's gender. I feel like that was up in the air, so I'm just, you guys can clarify that for me. But Suika, I'm pretty sure, is a child and is an absolute doll. And I love Suika. And I love... Again, this would have been like so easy to just like make him out as like this kind of like irritable a-hole who doesn't like kids, who doesn't like... And just like his rapport with Suika is the sweetest thing in the world, and I love it. I love it. Suika just wanted to be seen, you know, just wanted to be like appreciated, and Senku did that. And you could say, yeah, it's just him not caring about the watermelon thing and everything, but I think it's more than that. I think it's more than that. We also got was it Ginro on board? We started to. We're starting to get people on board. We got the dog. We got Chalk. And Chalk helped us figure out the whole wheat thing so that we can make ramen. We're bringing ramen to the village. I mean, tell me that, like, food is not a good way to win people over. Like, new food, good food. Come on, guys. This is a smart move. This is a really smart move. Yeah. I would say food. I feel like if everyone just had a donut, the world would be a better place. I really do. I think that to myself sometimes, that like, have you tried a donut? Because I feel like it'd help. I'm so hungry right now. My tummy's growling. My baby's going to start kicking me. Yeah, baby really does not like it when I get too hungry. I will feel it. And now Buffy is hungry too, apparently. So I need to go. All right, that was such a good episode. I feel like there was so much going on in there. I feel like I didn't even get to like recap it fully, but we'll chat about it. We'll chat about it in the comments. It was a really good episode. I love where it's going. I love that like we're gonna get this whole village on our side with ramen, and then we're just gonna build from there. It's a beautiful thing, you guys. It's a beautiful thing. I'm learning. I'm having fun. I hope you enjoyed watching along with me. As always, thank you so much for joining me today, and please, for the love of God, you know I'm gonna need your help. So please be sure to join me next time, and we will watch it together. Bye for now, guys.